Let's look over some of the top stories that have come out of the Asia-Pacific region over the last 12 months.
And let's start things off by going right back to the start of the year when NTPC Green Energy announced the development of a $21 billion green hydrogen hub in the region of Andhra Pradesh in India.
A big story to come out of the region back in January. NTPC described the hub as a comprehensive one-stop solution for green, chemical and sustainable manufacturing. That, once fully operational, will harness 7 gigawatts of renewable energy and export over 2.5 million tonnes of green chemicals annually.
The facility is earmarked to produce 1,500 tonnes per day of green hydrogen and 7,500 tonnes per day of green hydrogen derivatives such as green methanol, green urea and sustainable aviation fuel.
Moving on to our next story, and just a few days later, Inox Air Products launched its largest air separation unit at the Steel Authority of India's Bokaro facility.
The ASU has an installed capacity of 2,150 tonnes per day, which includes 2,000 TPD of gaseous oxygen, 150 TPD of liquid oxygen, 1,200 TPD of gaseous nitrogen, and 100 tonnes per day of argon.
Some fantastic numbers there. And Managing Director of Inox AP, Siddharth Jain, said, "The commissioning of our largest ever ASU at Sale's iconic Bokaro plant is a massive milestone in our company's journey. Considering that this is Sale's largest ASU at any of its facilities brings us immense pride and stands testimony to our capabilities and reliability. We firmly believe that our association of nearly 2 decades with Sale has enabled us to play an impactful part in the nation's growth story."
Moving on now, 2025 has also seen India dip its toes into the hydrogen mobility sector with its first hydrogen-powered train taking to the rails and the launch of its hydrogen-fueled bus and truck trials.
The latter comes under the country's National Green Hydrogen Mission, while the former is a part of a commitment from the Ministry of Railways, which has allocated $337 million to hydrogen fuel cell-based train development.
Into April now, when European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen unveiled a €12 billion clean energy investment into Central Asia clean energy projects. The announced Global Gateway Investment Package aims to kickstart a new pipeline of projects for Central Asia, with the EU's executive leader saying the region aims to be a clear energy hub: wind in Kazakhstan, solar in Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan, hydro in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, and geothermal across the region. You could produce enough clean energy for your economy and for export. You could turn part of this energy into clean hydrogen.
Absolutely. Now, this year has also been the year of the tariff, of course. Back in April, US President Donald Trump unveiled his levies on a whole host of countries, including rates of 49% on Cambodia, 46% on Vietnam, 34% on China, 36% on Thailand, 32% on both Taiwan and Indonesia, 26% on India, and 24% on Japan.
Since we have seen a number of reciprocal tariffs on the US, and almost all of those figures have been reduced, and a number of trade deals have of course been negotiated too. However, these initial measures did represent the highest tariff level in a century, which threatened many components of this industrial gases business.
Indeed it did. And it's clear to see the prominence of the Asian market coming through here with some of those tariffs. Now into May, South Korean steel manufacturer POSCO Holdings and chemical company LG Chem announced plans to pilot carbon capture and utilization technology that converts CO2 from steel making into synthetic gas for reuse in industrial processes.
This demonstration project, which is part of South Korea's national CCU mega project, will see CO2 captured at POSCO's Pyongyang Steelworks and processed using LG Chem's dry methane reforming technology. The pilot will begin with a design phase later in 2026, followed by construction in 2028 and demonstration operations through to 2030.
And to round off the first half of 2025, Honda announced it will delay and scale back its hydrogen fuel cell manufacturing plans in Japan. The company revealed that it would reduce the initial production capacity and delay full production at its new plant in Mocha City, citing recent changes in the global hydrogen market environment.
We've certainly seen those changes throughout the year, haven't we? The factory was due to begin operations at the end of fiscal year 2028 with capacity for 30,000 fuel cell units backed by subsidies from the Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. But now it will miss its planned 2028 launch with production capped at 20,000 units with no new start date for production.
Heading into the second half of the year now, when Envision commissioned the world's largest green hydrogen and ammonia plant in Chifeng, China, powered entirely by an off-grid renewable energy system.
Envision described it as the world's largest and most advanced green hydrogen and ammonia facility, with the plant using AI to provide real-time optimization and stability. The plant in the Chifeng Net Zero Industrial Park is producing 320,000 tonnes of green ammonia annually from 500 megawatts of electrolysis, with plans to begin exporting the compound by the end of this year. By 2028, the company plans to scale up the plant to produce 1.5 million tonnes of green ammonia per year, representing over 2.5 gigawatts of electrolyser capacity.
All going on in India and China, which we'll come back to later. In September, Air Products and the government of Uzbekistan agreed to accelerate the implementation of several industrial projects, including the construction of a gas chemical complex in the Bukhara region.
Known as the Gas Chemical Complex MTO Central Asia, the facility will use methanol to olefins technology to convert natural gas into polymers and other petrochemical products. Once in operation, the complex is expected to produce around 1.1 million tonnes of polymers per year and will consume approximately 1.3 billion cubic metres of natural gas annually. Developers have described it as set to become the largest polymer production facility in Central Asia.
Returning to India now, and in October, Inox Air Products began construction of a specialty gas facility in Dholera that will supply ultra-high purity gases for the semiconductor industry.
The plant, which will produce nitrogen, oxygen, argon and hydrogen, will also support Tata Electronics' upcoming $11 billion semiconductor fab being developed in partnership with Taiwan's Powerchip. The facility is expected to launch in the next 12 to 18 months.
And rounding off the year to date, just last week, the Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry announced the first two winners of its 3 trillion yen contracts for different scheme.
Both projects are recognised as low-carbon hydrogen supply business plans and are set to receive subsidies under the Hydrogen Society Promotion Act. The first project, led by Toyota Shusho, Aeris Energy, Iwatani and HI Steel, is expected to produce 1,600 tonnes of green hydrogen per year. Electrolysis, powered by onshore wind, will be used to support HI's special steel manufacturing.
Meanwhile, the second Resonac Nippon Shokubai partnership will gasify waste plastics and textiles at Resonac's Kawasaki plant to produce hydrogen for feedstock in low-carbon ammonia production. A 30 to 40 megawatt natural gas and hydrogen-fueled unit will also be installed to cut the site's emissions by up to 254,000 tonnes of CO2 and cover around 40% of the plant's power consumption. Both projects are scheduled to be operational in Q1 of 2030.